Gary Morgan, thank you so much for doing this. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. It's a great pleasure to be here, Addy. Yeah, great to see you.
Great to see yourself as well. And again, thank you very much for doing this. Gary, we met one time at the university. We managed to speak to yourself and spoke to you. My colleague Tal introduced me to you and everything. Big shout out to Tal as well for allowing our friendship to happen and
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's a great place to network. Yeah, the NTU have really got nice. The Dryden Enterprise Centre's yeah, really nice facility they've got there. So yeah, it's great to meet you there.
Oh, indeed, yeah. The best part is always being able to bring coffee when as well. So that's the, that's the best. That's the best. But it's true. It's a great place where people can just sit together, communicate, get to know one another, and just make some contacts along the way as well, which is what the whole place is made. I mean, everybody who works there is absolutely amazing. You get to meet amazing people along the way, such as yourself, and there's countless other people as well. But we could probably do a whole podcast on just these this Bible of this individual.
All these networks, yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah. But Gary, again, on the behalf of everybody here at AddiBiotics and Team Media Productions, we just want to say it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure.
Pleasure's ours. It's always a pleasure for myself and everybody to speak to people, hear their stories. My favorite thing of every single story is, whether it's comic books, movies, books, anything, it's the origin. I always find the origin of every story the most intriguing part. Is how did a certain character become what they were meant to become? Like what they were destined from this. They couldn't run from it, could they? It was calling from them since day one. But it's like when that day actually arrives, okay, this is what you got to do for the rest of your life. What is the cause of it? Like, what's the motivation behind it all? Which is what's so interesting. But today the story is yours. I'm going to sit back with my coffee right here and just start off the interview. So Gary, what is your background?
Yeah, well, my origin story doesn't involve falling into a vat of acid or anything like in the comic books, but thank goodness. But it does involve doing a languages degree, actually, which is not what you always expect from someone who runs a web design company. But yeah, I did languages. Always loved French, and I did Russian as well, actually, which I can't remember much of. And yeah, I was writing. I was into writing, and I wrote a bit for the Student Union magazine at the University of Bradford, and they were saying, well, we've got this website, need someone to look after it. Do you fancy giving it a go? And I was like, well, yeah, sure. And I realized that this is my calling. It involves graphics, which I've done some of. It involves a bit of programming, and it involves some structuring content and being able to just visualize a logical structure for a lot of information, which so the rest is history. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good history to write. As I say, you can write your own history, you can write your own future and everything. There's a good saying I once heard. It said, the past is history, the future is a mystery, which is why you must live in the present.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
But I did like the fact that you kind of put that that tank of acid thing, because I was thinking the green mic and everything. Like, even you have read the Batman comics and everything. You've read them. So I'm guessing the Joker's your favorite, isn't it?
Oh, well, yes. I mean, you can't get much more iconic than as a baddie. Yes, with a complex backstory. Yes, so hopefully my backstory isn't quite so complex. But yeah, yeah.
And and how did you get into the field of web design?
Yeah, well, as I say, started off doing that university student union magazine website, and actually the first web design job proper was at the Nottingham City Council's web team. So the first, going back a little while now, but the first Newstead Abbey website and the first Nottingham City Libraries websites, I was involved with those, and yeah, it was an amazing place to learn the trade, and to also to just be involved with so many diverse, because the council does all kinds of things, and to be involved with so many diverse projects was wonderful. And I really still enjoy that aspect of the job now, working with so many different people doing amazing things and changing the world, and that's really what it's all about.
That's absolutely amazing. It takes a very strong individual to do that, and hats off to you for doing that, Gary. I mean, like, that is actually one of the best answers I've ever heard on as many people I've interviewed over the past few years. That is a great thing that someone says change the world. It's never been an easy task, but they say you can change it one day at a time.
Absolutely. Well, I have to give credit to the people who are actually doing the changing of the world, but what if they're doing a project? Our main work is around university research projects, so they get some funding to work on a particular aspect of a problem that needs solving, and so obviously they need to get the word out. Not only because the funders require them to make an impact on the world, they don't just do this research and that's it, and it disappears into academic papers, which academics might read, but no one else might read it. So they need to actually make an impact on the people that they're targeting, and so having a website and getting some effective digital marketing out there means that they really have that impact, and so that's what we're all about.
That's great, and that's an amazing thing, because obviously we're all heading towards the digital era, aren't we? So it's good to keep up with times, and it's kind of like telling everybody else out there, keep up with the times. Like, some people, like, I still remember some people who still prefer the old school of just picking the phone up and calling somebody to see how they're doing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe not everybody's going to be technologically advanced like another individual is, or from the TikTok era or anything like that. But still, it's a good thing to do that. It's like showing people you're going to keep up with the times. You could benefit from it down the line here or wherever you like. But what inspired you the most to first off, I want to say, because I've never heard anybody do take up the languages course. But that's epic. That is. So, what inspired you to take up the languages course, and
Well,
also, yeah, start with that one. Sorry.
yeah, and absolutely. Well, I did French at school from the age of 11, as a lot of people do, and I loved it. I just like the sound of some languages. I also really like the sound of Swedish, but the grammar, I think, might put me off from actually learning it. But so I loved the sound of it, and it just kind of made sense. Like, some things just make sense, and so I always loved it. And lived out there for a while in the Champagne region of France. And recently it's been really cool because another strand of mine is being in a band. I'm in a band, I play keyboards, and we're going to have a gig in a few months' time where we're going to be supporting a French band. And I looked at their website, I thought, they're from the same town that I used to live in. it's yeah, they're coming over to the UK, random synchronicity, so that's a cool thing. I digress there, but yeah, it's yeah, so yeah, France has a big place in my heart, definitely. And you know, it's great working with these research projects because they are all over Europe. A lot of them are European funded and have got partners all over the place. And yeah, so it's really cool.